Hello, I'm Philip Stoter and I'm at Apex 2020 and I'm joined by Rafael from Bright Machines. We'll start with a short introduction to Bright Machines because I think a lot of our readers know a little bit about the company but not too much. But also I'd like to get your view on what you've seen here these last couple of days.
Okay, fantastic. So Bright Machines, a great company, innovative company, a collection of manufacturing engineers, robotic engineers, software engineers, really with a single focus to redefine manufacturing with software and hardware through some pretty amazing automation and doing it in a very structured, data-driven manner.
Okay, and when I look at what you're doing and you refer to these systems as microfactories and software-driven manufacturing, it really does allow you to take automation and use it in a very customized way, but a very reusable way, and that's kind of the key to it.
Exactly. In the same vein that SMT technology really evolved and changed the industry, the manufacturing industry with software 15, 20 years ago, we're doing the same with very flexible, very smart, and very vision-driven automation, addressing issues like quick changeover, low mix, even high mix, low volume, very challenging interactions with MES. We're able to do that in our cells in the same way that, as I said, SMT did 20 years ago.
Yeah, and you've been around the industry for a year or two.
Yes.
So you've seen a few of these shows. You've seen stuff come and go. What we're seeing now is kind of a bit of a realization of this digital transformation. It's taken a long time. We spent a lot of time talking about connectivity and other stuff, but it seems to be getting there now. Do you get that feeling when you're at a show like this?
Yes, we definitely get the feeling that machines are making essentially being coming out of the box, out of the shelf, ready to provide data, but the feedback we're getting from customers on a daily basis is they still don't know what to do with the data.
Yeah.
And that's where our analytics come in. So our real focus is not on the data itself or availability of the data. I think the IoT has really solved that, but what do we do with that data? So it's prescriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, it's using the data and in a sense monetizing it for a positive, compelling benefit that we can demonstrate positive ROI, and I'm glad to say we're finally getting there with the industry.
Yeah, and you've got plenty of machines out there on beta test, so you're actually doing this. When you look at a particular line or a particular process or a particular project, how do you figure out where the automation is needed and how that automation is going to impact on the cost of that product?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that is a challenge that we see with our end customers. And so with every engagement, we bring our manufacturing experts that understand the entire ecosystem in factory, and it's the challenge is typically viewed as a standalone automation that we're trying to solve, but in reality, with all of the variables and inputs and outputs in a factory, it really does take an overall view of the factory to truly understand where the compelling benefit will come from, and often the original project that we thought was the scope does not become the original project, and we're actually able to address upstream drivers that drive productivity through the entire line. So I'm very glad to say that we've seen successes in that space.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting, and when I look at it from my experience of contract manufacturing, you get something like this in probably to solve a specific pain point or a problem that just hasn't been resolved, exactly. And then all of a sudden you think, hey, we could use that here, and actually the operators start to input, and you get a kind of a bit of a Eureka moment. Is that something you're seeing with your clients?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, often in this industry, it's about risk and mitigation and trust. And once we can demonstrate given use cases in the industry where we've been able to improve productivity with very little risk, customers are willing to move forward with proof of concepts. They're willing to move with initial case studies and feasibility studies, and they realize that the use of software, the use of vision, the use of even fundamental building blocks like calibration can really make a difference in terms of being a successful automation project versus an unsuccessful. And as you know, most manufacturers have had their share of unsuccessful automation projects, and that has really kind of spurned or helped shy away from that quick advancement. And so now they see with the industry moving towards vision, machine learning, that doesn't that automation doesn't continue to require an army of people to maintain.
Yeah, and it's not just an army of people to maintain it, it's an army of people to change over from one application to the other. And I see that
Exactly.
as potentially one of the biggest benefits. You know, one of the things we've worked on for a long time with the SMT line is reducing changeover time. So to be able to do that with a robotic cell or a particular process, that's hugely valuable.
Exactly. So our focus is on auto with changeover conveyor, auto recipe changeover, multi-tool changer, real-time scanning with recipe changeover and integration to the MES. Absolutely, we took our, all of the work that we put into the SMT changeover reduction, which is really critical in most factories that are now generally high mix and low volume, and we've applied that to our Bright Robotic cells.
Okay, good stuff. And good show. You've enjoyed being here. You've obviously met some old friends,
Oh, yes,
which is
absolutely.
always nice. But have
Absolutely.
you seen anything particular that's caught your eye?
You know, I'm really excited about the proliferation of IPC-CFX. Bright Machines is a big supporter of industry standard, and it's really great to see that that it's really been fully embraced and that it's well on its way to becoming the industry standard.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. If you've got the digital building blocks in place for when you arrive, then it makes your job so much easier, and it actually makes your customer's job easier. So that's
Absolutely.
valuable.
Absolutely.
Rafael, thanks for your time.
I
Absolute
appreciate
pleasure
it.
to chat.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.